78 Sports TV here. Salute to the mighty LDBC. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And if you're digging the video, go ahead and share this joint. So, Mauricio Sulaiman of the WBC has the bright idea. He's always coming up with these bright ideas. And his new bright idea is that he thinks there should be extra judges in the Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk fight to avoid any type of confusion. There should be extra judges. First of all, Sulaiman, your ideas are horrible, okay? You're the main one always making new belts for every occasion, right? You're one of the biggest problems in boxing. You don't enforce mandatories on people like Canelo, but you try to bully people like, Haney or other guys, right? So, you went years without forcing Floyd Mayweather to fight any of his mandatories, but people just let that ride under the radar. But let's talk about this for a second. Boxing has 3 judges historically, right? 3 judges, right? So that odd number kind of ensures that most of the time you're going to get a winner. Very rarely do all judges have it, score into a way where it'll be a draw. It happens, but rarely, right? So what is having 4 judges or 5 judges going to do, Sulaiman? What's it going to do? It's not going to fix the problem. 3 judges are enough. The problem with the scoring in boxing is that you guys don't have a set criteria for how you're supposed to be scoring a fight. Because the way I grew up watching boxing and the way fights were scored seems to have be changing all of a sudden now. Now you got people who, just because they don't like a particular style, will act like the guy's losing because they don't like the style. And that's ridiculous. It's childish, it's immature, and it's ridiculous. Just because you don't like somebody's style doesn't mean you have the right to discriminate against them and say, well, he's losing. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz is the perfect example. Jermaine Ortiz easily outboxed Teofimo Lopez, and that's what this sport is called, boxing. Not entertainment, not fighting, it's called boxing. And boxing is still a sport. It's supposed to be, at least, right? You got it in the Olympics as a sport. But it seems like once you enter the pros, it just becomes solely a business and not a sport. Because y'all let people duck people. Nothing matters. All that matters is who you like, how they fight, do they get knockouts, and then sometimes knockouts don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Who they knocking out, that can matter too. It just depends on what the narrative is about a fighter and what these fans are willing to accept. Okay, so what happened with Rolly Romero, right? What happened with Rolly Romero and the Amazonian Elder, all right? When Tony Weeks clearly robbed that man, all right? Clearly robbed that old school dude, right? The dude fought his heart out and got robbed because the narrative and the propaganda police want Rolly Romero to be somebody. So this happened before everybody's eyes. So what do the judges have to do with that? They didn't even make it to the judges, all right? The problem with boxing is this. First, people don't know how to judge fights. We know there are always going to be biased fans and biased stuff. You can't afford to have biased judges. Judges have to be held responsible. It needs to be a review. Every judge should have to do an open review, right? In front of the athletic commission, do an open review. Open to the public. Let the public be able to go in like a court and watch the fight with the judges, and the judges have to explain why this guy won that round. This is why I had him win that round. And if they're wrong, they should be able to say in open court, in an open hearing, say, hey, you know what? Now looking at it from this angle on television, yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong. He didn't win that round. That's what should happen. You have to have some type of accountability for these judges. They shouldn't be able to just hide and have immunity, operate with immunity. You know what I'm saying? What they did to Jermaine Ortiz was ridiculous. And then even the worst part is you got fans justifying it because, the fans have fell into the hype of the business. Well, T.O.'s a bigger star. So, I mean, look, man, I mean, you gotta take it from the champ, man. He didn't take it from him, you know. Yeah, he technically outboxed him, but I mean, he didn't do enough. You know, I mean, he gotta go up in there, you know. Man, ain't nobody got time for that pity pat style, man. He needs to go in there and do this and do that. Okay, if that's your standard, then make sure that's your standard all the time. All the time. All the time. Not just sometime, depending on who you like and who you don't like. What? So if you're gonna change the rules of boxing and how the sport of boxing is judged, then y'all need to do that. But you gotta quit changing from fight to fight, because fans don't know how to place a bet. You don't know who's gonna win. You can't even break down a fight logically, because you know the sport is not being judged the correct way no more. You know what I mean? So now, the other problem with the sport of boxing, right? But besides the judges and referees have to be held accountable, right? It should be a commission. The commission should pick the judges, not the promoters. That is a conflict of interest. I don't know how anybody doesn't see that. When you allow the promoter for the event to hire the judge can sometimes feel pressure and appreciation. Oh, this guy hired me. This promotional company always hire me. They must think I'm doing a good job. Let me favor their fighter. It's human nature, right? You want to return the favor. Somebody's keeping you employed. You want to return the favor. Hey, man, they keep hiring me. I can see his guy won that round, you know, no big deal. Well, that 1-2 rounds you gave the guy out of appreciation could be the rounds that sway the fight, right? The promoter should not be the ones hiring the judges, right? That's another issue with boxing, right? What else? What's going on in boxing? Too many belts, we already know that, right? And once again, even with that, they pick and choose when they want to enforce the mandatories and when they don't. You know what I'm saying? It's all about moolah. You know what I'm saying? All about that paper. You dig? That's all this is about when it comes to boxing. You know what I mean? But yeah, but the main issue is fans have accepted this nonsense. If fans would have stuck together, when I first told people, when I first started the LDBC, I said, listen, man, fans have to stick together. Fans have to say, we're not watching this, we're not paying for this, they're not giving us what we want to see, so to hell with them. Fans are supposed to be able to stick together like that. But you got fans who, other things are more powerful to them than being a boxing fan. Things like race, you know. Well, I don't like him. He's a black American fighter. Oh, I don't like him. And then so therefore you're gonna root against the black fighter no matter who he's fighting. No matter what, you're gonna root against them. You're gonna take pride in being a coward behind a computer screen, right? So you out of it. We can't count on you to stick together for nothing, right? This is what I mean. Boxing fans are ridiculous. It's become the entertainment business, just like the brother Deontay Wilder said, man. Boxing is no longer a sport. As a professional, it's not. The purest forms of boxing we can watch is the amateurs. That's the purest form. Old school boxing, you gotta watch the amateurs, bro. And even in the amateurs, once you get to the Olympics, politics rule the day. Politics rule the day. So no, Suleiman, it's not the number of judges, right? They can stop the controversy. It can still be controversy with those judges. The judges have to be held accountable. Just like in the NBA, referees in the NBA need to be held accountable. You see, referees wouldn't do all the emotional stuff they do in the NBA if after these games or like once a week or something, you bring these referees in for a review. And you talk about some of these controversial plays and, hey, well, why'd you miss this one, right? And if you do that, guess what? Guys gonna stop missing calls. They're gonna stop calling ridiculous calls because now they know I gotta answer for every decision I make. I have to answer for this, right? That's what you do. You know what I mean? How you think kids would act in school if their parents were required to come up to the school and get a review of their child's behavior once a week? It's a mandatory, once a week. For your child to be in school, you gotta come up to the school and get a review. How good do you think kids would act if there was a camera recording the classroom that their parents could click on their app on their phone and see what their kid doing in class at all times. How don't you think school will improve? Of course, but nobody likes accountability. You understand? Nobody likes accountability. Nobody likes responsibility. People want to play the blame game. It's not my fault, it's their fault. It's not us, it's them. This is what people want to do, all right? So, you know, Suleiman, stop acting like you are, trying to help boxing. You're not. You're trying to confuse it. Now you got a whole nother weight division. You didn't add it. It's bad enough you got all these belts. Now you got a whole nother weight division. You just started the bridge weight. Like, bro, did nobody ask you to do this, man? Nobody's asking you to do this. You're just doing stuff because you were greedy. You understand? Suleiman is one of the most greedy promoters in the business. He's greedy, fam. The only sanctioning body that really enforces mandatories and really stands on business is the IBF. And people hate the IBF because the IBF will strip you. They don't see, we so used to these sanctioning bodies giving these star fighters a pass for every little thing. And we're so used to that. We're so used to the favoritism. Well, sanctioning bodies should understand this. Sanctioning bodies should understand that. We're so used to the politics being played that when somebody actually does their job like the IBF, we get mad at them. We want to crucify them. Man, how they gonna strip them? Man, how they gonna do this? That's what their job is. If you don't fight your mandatory, bruh, if you're not telling them, hey, I plan on fighting this guy, they're gonna take your title. That's what boxing is supposed to be like, to ensure that it's fair. Not so guys like Canelo Alvarez. I'm not just picking on Canelo, but he one of the most gross defenders. But not so guys like Canelo and others can sit back and use their influence, use their popularity as a means to sit back and do nothing and duck people. So, y'all let me know in the comment section what you guys think is, the big issue in boxing when it comes to these scorecards, man. Like I say, man, I thought Jermaine Ortiz clearly beat Teofimo Lopez, clearly. And I'm sitting here like, bro, I picked Teo to win. But I knew how he was going to win. I said, Teo's going to win this fight because Jermaine Ortiz will outbox him, but they're going to rob him on the scorecard. I literally said that. Because now it's to the point where I just know boxing. I know how to, I know how boxing operates. The only fight in recent years that surprised me that there was no politics was the Devin Haney-Lomachenko fight. I picked Devin Haney to win. I was so happy that he did win. But I thought it was a strong possibility the Top Rank was going to pull some shenanigans like they've done in the past. And that people's love affair for Lomachenko was going to cause them to do some shady stuff on the scorecards with Devin Haney, right? Now, they did some shady stuff. They gave Lomachenko credit for rounds he didn't really win. And the worst offenders wasn't even the judges. It was the boxing, so-called boxing fans. The people who think they know boxing. That's another big problem in the sport. It's all these casual fans. It's cool. I'm not dissing casuals. Casuals are important too. Y'all help keep the sport alive as well. But all these casual fans, right, they come around when big fights happen, talking greasy. Oh man, Lomachenko won that fight, man. Okay, how did Lomachenko win the fight? The man had a highlight reel coming from 2 rounds. 2 rounds. And yes, he won those rounds. But y'all act like he did. What happened to you score boxing not by who got the best highlights. Dum-dum. You score boxing based off of each round. Who won the first round? Who won the second round? Who won the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth? That's how it happens, all right? It's a 10-point must system for 12 rounds. That's how you score boxing, ladies and gents. You don't score boxing based off of, oh, this fight boring because the guy I want to win is losing, clearly. Oh, my guy's coming back. He's coming back. Oh, man, he won, man. He won, bro. He won. Yeah, man, you see them punches he landed, that flurry? Yeah, man, that's just enough what he needed to win. That's not how boxing works. And if you think that's how boxing works, then you're part of the biggest problem of boxing too. You're part of the problem. There's no sense in complaining about everybody else. You're part of the problem if that's how you think boxing works. So yeah, Suleiman needs to go sit down somewhere. We don't need no extra judges for the Fury versus Usyk fight. We need the 3 judges that are assigned to do their job. That's all we need to do, right? Do the job. You already have you already have your assignment. You already know the rules. So do your job, sir. 78 Sports TV. Salute to the mighty LDBC. I'm a part of here, deuces.